I think maybe we're going here. So 316. What the hell's the date today? 20 what?
I don't know. It's just Michigan Rutgers.
Michigan 52. Rutgers nothing.
Well, say,
Okay.
hey, Big House Tailgaters fans, here we are, Michigan Rutgers. We got Big Daddy, all right, and Mr. Bettermaid.
Mr. Bettermaid.
Here with our post-game analysis. Gentlemen, the floor is open.
Well, generally, I think this is.
Yeah, I don't think you just gotta let the screen.
Yeah, you gotta just let it go. I mean,
As your
it's a game they couldn't win because if you do what they did, you're supposed to, and if they don't, it's an extension of everything that you've seen the last 3 or 4 years.
I was saying before the game that I guess
they did what they wanted us. We did what we wanted to see. But what do we know about this team now? I don't think a hell of a lot more.
It seemed to me, we know that if they open up the passing game, it seems like the offense flows better.
Well,
You
really
really
know
know
if you
anything
saw that
against
next week
Rutgers?
against Iowa.
you know anything against Rutgers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with you. Theoretically, they open up the passing game is going to be better. But wouldn't you feel better seeing that offense work against Iowa than making an assumption today? Because it's easy to say, hey, when you play the JV, this shit works. Well, hell, okay.
Yeah, I mean, every time I see Rutgers on the field, all I can think is 78 to nothing.
Exactly. Well, actually, what I think is how the fuck did Brady Hoke lose to this team? That's what I think. But nevertheless.
Yeah, I forgot.
Those days are gone.
Completely.
Yeah, those days are gone. We don't talk about
It's
that.
ancient history.
So, I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. They had their way. But I feel a hell of a lot better if I see this work against Iowa.
Yeah, it's not the all is forgiven kind of result. That
I think it turns the heat down a little bit for a week. If they resort next week to what we saw last week, yeah, right back where we started.
Yeah, I mean, you always expect Iowa to be a quality quality team.
Well, coming into this week, weren't they 15 or something? They were in the top 5, weren't they? 14, 15? Something like that?
Where did Michigan fall to?
20. And I'm shocked that they even stayed in the top 20. If I had a vote, they would have been out. They would have been out from 11.
I haven't seen enough to absolutely say that, but I mean, I certainly wasn't. I wasn't thinking top 10 before last week.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm not thinking top 20.
After what you saw against Wisconsin, without seeing every team in the country,
I'm assuming that did not look like a top 20 team to me.
No,
that's what I just said. I didn't think they were top 10 before last week. And last week, I'm thinking.
And this week, and after this week, I still have. I don't know.
And all that I can do is qualify that and say, well, I haven't watched everybody. It sure doesn't seem like a top 20.
No, this is par for everybody. I mean, you can beat the crap out of the also ranks.
But I see something. He hasn't. It's not that he hasn't beat a top 10 team. I forget the stat. Basically, he doesn't win big games. What the thing was.
Yeah, it's something like 1 and 9 against top. I don't remember the number, but yeah, it's like one win versus a shit ton of losses. Yeah, and then on the road, it's 0 forever, and it's not good. And this would be. They got healthy. They looked good. Charbonnet saw the field for a couple of carries and he was off the field, so maybe another week he gets healthy. Don't know about the rumors with all that. Like coming into last week, there was rumors about that he had a knee injury in high school. I don't know what it was. It was senior year in high school. He was able to play with it, but it was a pain management thing. So they cleaned it up, fixed it after high school. And that's why he enrolled here early, but he missed spring ball because of the knee surgery. And then something happened that caused it flare. It wasn't a new injury, but something additionally needed to be cleaned up in his knee. So the rumor was that he was going to have surgery prior to Wisconsin. He was going to have surgery and then would be out for 4 to 5 weeks, maybe coming back for another game. And then all the message boards go back and forth. No, he's healthy. No, he's hurt. No, he's healthy. Well, he goes out there against Wisconsin, and if you remember, he was only in. I think he ran the ball twice or something like that. But he was only in the game primarily to pass block because he's the best pass blocking running back that they have to pick up the blitz. And he was, if you go back and look at it, he was doing a lot of it on one leg. he would plant one leg and hit you, and this other one's just kind of there, and you couldn't push on it. And then today, he ran the ball, what, 2 or 3 times, maybe? I don't recall, but a couple.
We heard that walking in.
Yeah. Well, by the time we settled in, I don't recall seeing him but maybe once or twice. I mean, he's out, so you got to think there's some legitimacy to new game tweak. Can he play with it? I don't know. What is it? I don't know. But the opposite of that argument is that you're pinning your hopes on a freshman running back. We got deeper issues than Jack Charbonnet's knee. It was nice to see True back in the game this week, but
True doesn't seem to have the burst and cut that Turner does.
oh no, of course not.
Yeah, that's what you said.
He's got quality.
Everybody said, "Oh,
So we're gonna leave. All right,
Thank you.
we got you. We got you covered. You got plenty of room.
All that rain last night, football officials, we got all stuff to make up today.
Are you playing makeup games today?
Yeah.
Oh.
I live in Lenawee County. There was only 2 games played last night, so they're all making them all up.
Oh
today.
wow.
they
Okay.
cancel them for rain,
Well, it's lightning.
lightning." Okay. I didn't see any lightning. Of course, I was inside. I got a new.
Well, I wasn't in Lenawee County, so I'm good.
You know, by the way, the entire.
There's nothing against Lenawee County, by the way.
What's the name of that street that's just south of you?
Take care.
The main
Oh, I hit my teeth.
just south of you.
Grove Road?
What is it?
Grove Road?
Grove, yeah. So between 94, Grove, all those, that section in there, right along Rossville, all the lights are like, what the? And you know,
Well, you're good. You're way good here, man.
You're golden.
You're good. You're good.
You're golden,
You're good.
boy.
Go, 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 go.
You gotta watch those rocks back there.
Yeah, you're closer to damage in the back.
You got come on up about a foot.
Hey, BT trying to help our fellow
turn the
tailgaters
wheel
get out of
without
here.
moving the truck. It just
There you go.
tears the brake.
Yeah, that's the toughest thing with these little stuff.
Why did he try to back out? I didn't back that way. He went straight out. Look what he did to the barrel, cutting the wheel.
That's okay.
Thing sitting still.
Yeah, I was it's so much easier now.
Well, that's what we usually. That's always my challenge. See you next week.
Yeah, if you get here earlier.
Really?
Yeah, I'm moving right now.
You don't
I'm
cut
here.
your wheel and
Me.
you're sitting still, right? Just a little bit of movement is all that it takes to keep that.
That's the only issue with big trucks. I got an F-150 and turning sucks on it.
Yeah.
This thing I can turn on dime. I mean, it's insane. All right, let's rock and roll. Take care, fellas.
All right, see you. So back to our story. You know, another thing that I thought, maybe it's just me, I read some articles this week that said, and again, it's probably for the media and such, but where Uncle Jim said that saw lack of effort, lack of motivation, lack of hustle, etc., etc. But this week, every position open, those that hustle, those that practice hard, will play. Ross was out, linebacker. Ross was out. We got two last week. So Cam McGrone was in there. Cam McGrone played today, and I'd say that 44.
Yeah.
That dude looked. I mean, he earned some time. When Ross comes back, and that's your starter. That's fine. McGrone needs to be in the game. He was moving.
Flying for the ball.
He
was
was.
a couple of one-on-ones.
He did. He wasn't perfect. He wasn't as bad as
Glasgow was about 4 of them.
But McGrone was moving. He earns, in my mind, he earned some time today. He needs a good hard look.
He paced
Agreed.
the quarterback on one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we're all right. We got Cam McGrone there. And the other thing to me is you can't replace Devin Bush. He was just a human missile just going everywhere. So you got to change your defensive philosophy a little bit. But what I'm surprised about is what the hell happened to the D-line? I recognize Chase Winovich was second round draft pick or whatever. He was making a splash.
Rashawn was the first round.
Rashawn was a first round draft pick. However, but Rashawn missed a good chunk of last season, right? And they still had a stout line. Something has happened. There's been a significant drop off with that line. I don't know if it's personnel, I don't know if it's size, I don't know what it is. But
Hutch is only
my
a
God.
spot then.
But he's still though.
Hey, you earned a spot to start it.
And he was a significant player last year. He was a backup last year. He earned time last year. So is it size? What the hell is it? They're getting shoved around. Consistent. They're getting shoved around.
You know, you say that. The offensive line is getting shot.
All right, that's a different issue.
Yeah,
Yes, it's an
a
issue.
different issue, but
Right.
it's like, what's going on with the people up front?
And the thing with the O-line is that they're not appreciably different than last year.
No, I know.
You think they'd be?
And last year they
much
looked
more.
a hell of a lot better than they do. And yes, they should have improved and gotten just a little bit better. The only dog they got, I think, is Runyon. I mean, the rest of them, they play nice and nice. Runyon looks like a dog.
Yeah, then Runyon missed a game or some time, and then his filled in quite nicely.
Yeah.
From,
What I mean by that, though, is that there's some clips floating around. Though you see the game against Wisconsin, Runyon flattened the guy. The guy started to get back up. He just fucking flattened him again. The rest of our linemen are helping these up, just reaching out. I mean, the only dog we got is John Runyon. He's gonna knock your dick in dirt and knock your dick in dirt again if you stand up.
Is he 75?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if the wasn't it
John Runyon.
They're on.
To the Runyon family, Daddy and Junior. I'll tell you what, he's not. He's not a human turnstile. Like no one with you.
He came out. I think it was the second to last touchdown. He came out. They're trying to push Patterson through. So it was still a Patterson touchdown. It wasn't Milton. So they're trying to push him through, and he stayed on the linebacker through right to the whistle, and he buried
My point. It's the only dog we got.
And the guy actually started the guy actually rolled around the top and was trying to fight with him. I thought it was pretty cool because he just kicked his ass. I mean, he ran him and buried him, and then he got up and walked away.
In my opinion, the only starter we have out of those starting five that could even have a conversation with some of the O-linemen we've had in the past year is Runyon. They may have talent. The rest of the other four may have talent. They may be athletic, and that's a wonderful thing. But the only one that shows that in my mind, their dog is John Runyon.
I mean, for offensive linemen, you can get your opponent to start fighting you.
Yes.
You won.
Absolutely.
Because he ain't chasing the ball.
Exactly.
But, you say it's a different subject. I remember Mark Messner talking about the first time he
No, I just wanted to talk about how the D-line sucked. This is a different subject.
I remember Mark Messner talking about the first time he lined up in practice for pads on pads. And he's like, and I line up across from this animal, Jumbo Ellie. And he talked about how it made him that, right, going against his animal day after day. Maybe they don't have these guys fighting with each other, knocking pads. Maybe it's kind of a...
Well, I mean, I'm sure the practice schedules and stuff are different from a contact perspective because of the way things have evolved. That's probably got something to do with it. But I don't know.
I was kind of surprised to hear that these guys, live on each other. The way he made it sound, it was trench warfare. Right?
But the thing is, you just don't look at these five starters, and maybe all athletic and everything, but there ain't a mean son of a bitch in there except for John Runyon, in my opinion. There's no Ron Payne, no Steve Everett, no John Jansen, no Jake Long, no Skrepanak, no Jumbo, no Doug Skeen. Just a mean son of a bitch that will rip your head off, hand it to you, let you put it back on, rip it back off again. There's just not, in my opinion. And I think that's part of the problem. I think to be a good offensive line, you got to be a good.
Be ugly.
Yes. And there's only one of them, I think, that we have right now, and that's John Runyon.
I really look at the national championship team of '97. I mean, that is where they really stood out.
Yes.
Their offensive line was just
They had for a championship level team, the running backs and the quarterbacks objectively were middle of the road.
Yep.
The reason they were able to do what they did is because they had maulers up front that would just rip your head off, shit down your neck, and do it again.
That's key to college football. Let's face it, right?
But you can have a superstar quarterback or a superstar running back, and everything else can be mediocre. But that '97 team, all their skilled positions were middle of the road. But you couldn't get to anybody anywhere, and the holes were opening, and you know, the A-Train was a freshman, and he's running three. Chris Howard's running three. Chris Floyd. I mean, Greasy was not a world beater, but boy, when you have time, you find an open man. I mean,
they played the smart man's game.
Yes, absolutely.
They just a world-beating defense, and we play keep away with the ball.
Yeah. I mean, that's what this program hung its hat on for decades.
Yeah,
you had
for 40-something years.
Offensive line that would just beat you the fuck up. And, you know, and we like to say that, oh, you know, Hoke and Rodriguez and things, program changed, and it did. But then when Jim shows up, well, we're going to go back to that. But we haven't really got back to that yet. We just haven't seen it yet. Now, the talent's there. They say these 4-star, 5-star, whatever it may be, kids come in here, but
maybe they're not.
Maybe they got the talent, maybe they got the skill, but they ain't good enough.
Maybe that's just it. We're not evaluating the right thing.
Yeah. Their athletic is all hell, but they ain't me. I'd rather have me something that you can teach something
well,
to.
That's the problem too.
I don't need a center that can pull out to the far edge, because if he's polite about it and picks you up after he knocks your ass off, I don't want that. I would rather him just be meaner than hell.
I think that's got to be one of the challenges when you're recruiting linemen from high school, because these 6'5", 6'6", 260-pound kids, you don't get to see them against 6'6", 260-pound kids, right? You get to, and it's easy to look mean against the kid that's 6'1", 195 pounds.
But you know, you learn your teacher. Everett ruled, right? You go down in Miami, a hotbed, South Florida, a hotbed of football. They're playing against 5-star kids playing against 5-star kids. Give me one of those guys. Give me a Steve Everett. Give me a Rod Payne. Comes out of Miami. Meaner than
maybe that's it. Maybe
find them. They're athletic. They're skilled, but they're also dogs.
Maybe we're just not looking in the right spots.
Maybe. I don't know. We need those. Those are the kind of guys we need. You can coach them up. You can't make them be something they're not, but you can coach up who they are. So I'd take somebody that's a little less skilled, that's meaner than hell, than the athletic guy that can pull from sideline to sideline that wants to help you up after you play. Fuck that. Seriously, fuck that.
Yeah, I don't remember ever helping up anybody from the other team.
God, you spend all that time putting it
And
out.
maybe they and I may be overstating. They probably don't here. But I can't say that I've seen that specifically. But it's a mentality, though. I don't know that they're mean enough. It doesn't feel like they're mean enough. It doesn't feel like they're mean enough.
Considering Uncle Jim wants to establish a run game,
for the last 3
start
years,
up front,
absolutely,
honestly, and it's okay. It's not consistent.
Yes.
In fact, it's been a lot more than 3 years. There hasn't been a team in recent memory that. Christ, when they lined up and they needed a yard and a half, Christ, felt pretty good about
Their
it.
run game was better his first 2 years when he was playing with inherited people than it is now. When he had whatever lineman he had and he had the home run, he had a better run game in short yards than he does now with all of his people.
Well, no, that's all based on the home run, right?
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
It's all based on the home run.
You know, over the last 10 years, when you name the best players in Michigan over the last 10 years, he's in the top 5.
For me, absolutely.
The Homa.
The home run is in the top 5. Number 39, get your ass a big old small fullback or Tongan fullback.
That's
Get
right.
your ass.
That's right.
I can't concur with that.
The
Top
Homa?
5 players.
In the last 10 years, I'm not saying forever, in the last 10 years.
Maybe you slice it down in the Harbaugh era. I'd put him in the top.
Oh, yeah, in Harbaugh. But
You might be able to go there.
you say Harbaugh, Oak, Rich Rod era. Which is Rich Rod started 08.
Yeah.
So that's the era I'm
Bernard.
talking about.
Jabril, Devin Bush.
I think Jabril's a whole lot of sizzle, not my steak.
He's pretty good in college.
Whole lot of sizzle. For what he came in here and everybody expected from him, whole lot of sizzle. Not much. He was very much the epitome of a good, not great player. A serviceable,
Very good player.
Good. And I also think
serviceable, did
it was-
really
it was
well.
a great thing
had some flashes, but if you tell me he didn't leave here, leaving you with a
They
wish there would have been more.
they tried to put a crown on him like he was Charles Woods.
yes, they did.
The other
He is
thing
not
was,
Charles
I
Woodson.
don't think that playing the
There's only one of those.
whatever
Only one of them.
what did they call that? Is it, he was kind of that linebacker. They called
The
it
Viper.
the Viper.
Well, they still have a Viper position.
Khalid.
But-
It was
Khalid
Khalid.
Johnson, yeah.
I don't think that showcased him. He was a defensive,
Mm-hmm.
and he just happened to be a good enough athlete that they could kind of play him like a linebacker.
I agree with what Perry
offense
said.
too, right?
I agree with what Perry said. They tried to make him the next Charles Woodson, and it just didn't fit.
Like Woodson.
You can't create that. You either are that or you're not. And we've seen one of them, and that's probably all we're going to see.
I think they were at one point. It kind of seemed like they were trying to get him to play every position on the field. You know?
Yeah, like a fucking baseball player that plays all positions in a 9-inning game.
That's right. You get one season where he plays every position. He's taking snaps occasionally out of the Wildcat.
Yeah.
Okay, but you've only named 3 there.
Yeah.
How is Homa not?
Well, we got off on Jabril.
Jabril, Devin Bush, I'll give you that.
Absolutely.
Slam dunk.
Devin Bush is in that.
Bush. That's right. The heat-seeking missile.
Yeah.
He's in.
And I would argue
Could be the top.
probably the one.
Probably
the one.
I go with that too.
Who's the other lineman for Rashawn Gary?
Left me wanting a hell of a lot. You want to say Chase Winovich? I'll listen to you. For Sean Gary, no thank you. Good player, serviceable player.
I still think he's better than Mahomes.
Needed more than what I needed.
Interesting. It was just like excelling at your position.
But what was asked out of him as the role that he played, he left me wanting a hell of a lot more.
I agree with that. So, okay, so where are we at now? We got Bush. You want to say Jabril? I mean, I love Jabril. I could put him in my top 5.
I'll listen there. Don't say the other. Don't say the other.
What do you say?
You're not talking Devin's son, right?
I'm not saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying.
Rudock was
1 year.
we got drafted.
Spate was over there. 4.5, 4.25.
You know who I think overachieved for where they were and what the position was, and again in the Harbaugh area? Toronto. I would put Toronto in that.
That's a good call. Davian. Kind of overachieved.
Yeah, collegiately, yeah. I would
I'd put them
together, like close together.
Who?
Davion Smith and
Oh,
Toronto.
yeah.
David,
Tangent again.
David Long, cornerback. I'd give Long some consideration.
Oh crap! Who was the corner that the Cowboys drafted? The one-handed grab against Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, comeback. Remember his name, Lewis? His last name was Lewis? Joe Lewis.
Jesus Christ, what the hell happened to him?
By the way,
Okay. I think he's up there.
Devin Bush already has 3 fumble recoveries.
Oh, you mean the Devin Bush that plays for the Steelers that I follow like a religion? Yes, I've seen that.
The 0-3
Devin
Steelers.
Bush.
I'm kidding. It just he happens to play. It was an orgasmic moment when the Steelers drafted him. Because, well, 1, it was Devin Bush, and 2, it went to the Steelers, and 3, it fit a position they absolutely needed. I absolutely.
Look.
Yes.
He's living up. I mean, apparently, I haven't seen him play, but apparently he's doing what he did.
The only thing that Devin Bush is lacking right now from an NFL perspective is just time to see it, because it's like you have to learn that game. He's relying so much on the athletic instincts. He's what Ryan Shazier was the first couple of years he played for Pittsburgh. He's so good and so fit. He's overrunning stuff, and he puts himself out of position. And it took Ryan Shazier a year to kind of figure that out. That I don't have to go 100 miles an hour every time. Sometimes the smartest thing is to be about 75 or 80, see it, and then go. And Devin Bush is learning that. But, yeah, he's doing everything he did at Michigan. He's a heat-seeking missile. He's all over the field. He's creating havoc.
Well,
but sometimes he's so fast and so good, he puts himself out of position. And then has to recover. And that's going to... He'll be better...
3 games in now?
He'll be... yeah, they're going to...
3 fumble recoveries.
He'll be better in year 2 than he is in year 1. But he's very liable to be the defensive rookie of the year in year 1. But he'll be better in year 2.
Just that one stat that I saw. And I caught the end because it said something about he's already got so many tackles.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw 3 fumble recoveries in the one play they showed.
And he has a pick too, I think.
I saw the, they're doing Wolverines in the NFL, and they were showing the play, and he knocked the ball loose, and, he made the hit that knocked the ball loose, and he picked it up.
Yeah. And I think he has a pick too, but he damn near scored on one of those returns. I don't know if it's a fumble or a pick, but he got down inside the 2, and he got hit in the corner, fumbled it out on the sideline. But he damn near, because he fumbled because he was trying to reach it across. He damn near scored.
For as long as I've been a Michigan fan, there's been a lot of Michigan players that were just tremendous, and really in the plays.
To Devin Bush.
Devin Bush.
Right, so we'll cap it off at the 30 minutes. I think we just kind of rambled.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll let you go ahead and close it out. You seem to be more authoritative in your voice. You sound better.
Closing it out?
Yeah.
Oh,
so we're going to just end this now.
All right, Big House Tailgaters. Here we are with our closing out our pseudo analysis of Michigan Rutgers.
Rambling on.
Rambling, bambling, and drinking our beers and putting down our Presto.
And they got to do it again. I mean, they did well this week, but I want to see it against a real team. Consensus?
Agreed.
If they do it against the Hawkeyes, then I'm back on the train. Right now, still wondering what we got.
It's a good fall.
It's on to Iowa.
On to Iowa.
As Bill Belichick would say.
It was an exhibition game. I got a kid that I'm going to get.
All right, we're going to give this another run. I'm going to put it back up. I don't
Back
think
to quarterback discussion.
Yeah, back to our quarterback discussion. Last year, I think, yes, he'd give preference to or leverage to transfer and everything we've done to try to get this young man in. And he's got the talent. He did this at Ole Miss and everything else. But I think, let me rephrase that. I would like to think
Best man wins the position.
at this point, best man wins a position. If it's Dylan McCaffrey, that's great. If it's Shea Patterson, that's great. But Dylan McCaffrey looks like, to me, a more fluid athlete.
We're seeing Tom Brady and Drew Henson.
Correct. Essentially.
Right now.
Essentially, yes. The second coming of the Henson-Brady phenomenon.
So we all were totally enamored with Henson.
Correct.
And he was clearly physically superior.
Correct. So far, you're speaking my language. You're about to diverge down the county road.
I'm just saying.
Right now, we're on the highway. We're about to go down the county road.
Okay, I'm just saying. You have to look at it and say, well, somehow we're discounting Tom Brady.
See, I disagree with that. I think
No.
At the time, we were all in love with Drew Henson. Get him in there.
Not all of us. There were people on both sides of the fence.
But if you talk to the players, if you hear the interviews with those people at that time, they were like, "What the fuck? This was Tom's team. There was no way." Lloyd tried to force.
Right, exactly.
Drew in.
They're trying to push Drew in there. He's the golden child. He's the future.
But I think Lloyd Carr knew that. And Lloyd Carr knew that Brady was better, but I think he was thinking about development, and I think that was the wrong time.
It was competition. He made him compete.
But the flip side to that is, I think in this case, Shea Patterson's not Tom Brady. And
No.
I think you do have to consider, I'm going to get. I mean,
But we're not talking Tom Brady in the pros. We're talking Tom Brady at Michigan. Who's a very good quarterback.
Yeah, he was a very good
didn't
quarterback.
get enough credit for what he did because of Drew Henson.
Correct. Agreed.
No, I disagree with that because I think people questioned how good Brady was because there has to be something wrong because the coach didn't start.
That's a fact going into the NFL Combine and draft.
In the moment, they absolutely questioned. No,
but every single when you like that thing the Brady Six or whatever, and I saw something else too with the guys that they were talking to from the team. It's like everybody on that team was like, Tom is the man, right? Why are you doing this? There was nobody around the team.
All right, so I didn't see that. But let me ask you this question: then. Was it because it had anything to do with the fact that Henson had one foot in each spot? Meaning, I want to be a college quarterback, but I also have this contract with the Yankees, and I'm making $1 million. So from a team perspective, I got Tom Brady's all in with me. This other fella, he may or not be all in with me because
what they played it out as.
Yeah, if he fails or he struggles, he's out of here. But this other fella, he's in with me, come hell or high water. And part of that motivation comes from knowing who your guy is. Right?
What they suggested or what was implied was that Lloyd was looking at the following year. Brady was good. Brady's great. Pinch time comes down. Probably in a national championship Rose Bowl game. Brady's the man, right? But if he can get Henson 150, 200 snaps, he's going to be that much better next season when he is the guy. And that was the whole thing, right? I'm gonna switch him up. You're gonna start this game, and then you're gonna go into
And
the
then he
second
bailed
half.
for the Yankees
and
and,
they're
never
gonna,
became the guy.
well, yeah,
I mean, so that okay.
yeah. But now I think the difference there is that Lloyd, because Brady was freaking good. And the only reason anybody questioned Brady coming out of college was because of that, right? And I think Lloyd, I don't think, he made a mistake. He shouldn't have done it. This is two different situations, though. Shea Patterson isn't even.
No.
There's no way, and even if you looked at what people saw from Brady coming out of his junior year, there's no way people were thinking this guy's. There's no comparison between
We're just
those
talking
two.
Quarterback competition. The
So-
younger guy against the older incumbent.
And that's what I'm just saying. It comes down to Harbaugh's what he thinks. Harbaugh might be, if you beat me, you got the job, and if I beat you, I get the job. As opposed to, what in the long term, because the upside to where Shea's going to be at the beginning of this season in the end, starting 12 games, I think there's probably a big difference between where McCaffrey's going to be at the beginning of this season and 12 games later. I think McCaffrey's probably got an upsize because Patterson's where he's at based on how many games has he already started, right? He started in Missouri. He's got a lot of quarters.
Not Missouri, Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. So he's got a lot of snaps.
Was Ole Miss?
Ole Miss.
Okay.
He's got a lot of snaps.
I was close.
Right?
So you're in the same state. He was in the fucking
Right
different
stage, yeah. He didn't know what he's
Well, it's a miss. But McCaffrey doesn't have a ton of snaps. So if McCaffrey's actually challenging for that position and making a solid challenge without a bunch of snaps under his belt, maybe he should have gotten that.
Yeah.
But, the thing about it, though, is, you got an incumbent quarterback, and you bring in McCaffrey, and let's say, for all intents and purposes, they go through camp even. You sit down Patterson, you've lost him.
Exactly. Okay. He's done. You can't go back.
You've lost him.
Unless there's a significant injury, you can't go back. You can't go back.
So essentially, you bring in a transfer. And I'm just talking like on a national scale as far as recruiting goes. You bring in a transfer, it's like, nah, we're going to sit him down. That's going to dissuade others.
Absolutely.
This is not uncommon nowadays. Jalen Hurts,
The freaking portal. The transfer portal.
the portal, the starter at Ohio State, Fields.
Yeah, Fields. Justin Fields.
Came from Georgia. He's at Georgia, transferred. It's like, yeah, Georgia's got their starter. It's like, okay, I'm out of here. Alabama got a new starter. Jalen Hurts is like, yeah, I'm out of here. So you want to turn down
Where's
transfer
Jalen
portals? Oklahoma.
Oklahoma and lighten it up.
Who are the last few
up.
couple Heisman Trophy winners? Wait a minute. Quarterback from Oklahoma is last. Quarterback from Oklahoma. So Jalen Hurts decided to become a quarterback at Oklahoma.
And he's lighting up.
Yep.
Big time.
So they played under Nick. He's a ball manager. He's going to Oklahoma and lighting it up.
He's pitching around the yard, running like a deer. He's lighting it up, man. Yeah.
Maybe that's something that Jim needs to kind of.
Is
he's got.
Jim Harbaugh a quarterback whisperer? You stop and look back on his history. Well, he was damn great when Andrew Luck was his quarterback at Stanford.
Correct. I think he made Jake Rudock an NFL draft pick.
Oh,
He
he
did.
Absolutely.
I'll go along with that.
Yeah. Did anybody ever hear of Jake Rudock?
Exactly. He was a transfer from Iowa who got benched at Iowa, who was draftable after a year at Michigan.
Fifth-year senior. He was grad student.
And here's here's the other thing.
And I think for Wilton Spade it was the same way. Wilton Spade ended up on the Niners not because of his grad year at UCLA,
Which was horrible.
It was because of his time here at Michigan. Is he quarterback whisperer? I don't know. Is he somebody that can make a quarterback better than maybe what he should be? Probably.
Why in the hell did
Probably.
Spade go to UCLA with Kelly as the coach, who was known for this the spread running quarterback offense. He's a classic pocket passer.
6'3", immobile.
Which
Looks like
fits
he's
Michigan and Lloyd Carr just fantastic. Shades of John Navarre.
Well, I guess that might bring up another question. Should Jim quit looking for the when you've got two? Milton was a 5-star too, right?
I think so. I don't know. I don't follow recruiting, honestly, so I don't know.
I think so. He's got two.
He was up there though, 4 or 5.
2 5-star quarterback recruits. Do you go out and start looking for? Because then I could say the same thing that maybe you're not going to get recruits or get transfers. Well, maybe you're not going to get those 5-star recruits either if they keep seeing that. Geez, this guy goes and gets 5-star recruits, and then he lets transfers come in and take the job.
Yeah, well, okay, but
so why?
But if you're going to go down that path, you got to give it a couple of years. Meaning that Rudolph's a transfer, yes. Spate was not. Patterson, yes. Now you've got a couple behind. You got Milton. You got McCaffrey. You got this. And I don't follow recruiting all that closely, but there's some kid whose name escapes me right now. That's supposed to be a 5-star kid out of California, I think, that's coming in. So if you now start to begin your recruiting pipeline, the transfer quarterback thing will start to die off.
But that's what I'm saying.
I think that's going to die off now because it was more of a thing of a response to a need. Yes, a stopgap. Thank you, a stopgap.
But Rudock was fine. Then they bring in Patterson though, and he's got 2 5-star kids there. So, but by his point, he's saying, well, you can't really, you can't give it to the other guy because then these other transfers won't come here. So I'm saying, well, yeah. So if you're making that assumption that because you gave it to the transfer, that the other 5-star kids that you're recruiting are going to say, well, I'm not going there because I don't know who he's going to go cherry pick from another school.
I can't even think of the kid. He was also a transfer. Remember the Indiana game where it snowed?
Mm-hmm.
Our starting quarterback was, I thought we went through Spate, then we went through Peters, and then
O'Corn.
O'Corn.
Yes,
he's a transfer.
I choose to forget about that.
He's a transfer.
I choose to forget about the O'Corn games. Yes, he was also a transfer, and thank God he used his eligibility.
Doing what he could.
Doing what he could.
Please, age out, age out.
Yeah, well, we're all doing what we can, Perry. That's kind of a daily thing. I get up, there are days the alarm goes up, and I sit on the edge of bed and think, fuck, I'm going to do what I can.
That's every day.
My point is,
fuck, I'm going to do what I can.
Transfer quarterbacks are not a stranger to Jim Harbaugh.
But I'm hoping that goes away now and I think it will, with the somewhat seemingly pipeline that's forming with McCaffrey, Milton, and this kid. I'm drawing a blank on this. I listen to WTKA, and they talk about their recruiting thing, and I kind of semi-tune it out because I can't invest in a fucking 18-year-old kid that may or may not come here or there or whatever. But there's some quarterback that it's a California kid, I think, some superstar. He's on the hook. I don't know. I don't follow recruiting. I don't know.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Until they sign.
Exactly, and that's why I don't pay much attention to the recruiting stuff, because until they sign, it doesn't matter. Hill of beans. They say
until they show up on campus.
I'm going to go to your school. I'm going to go to your school. I'm going to go to your school. You look at Daxton Hill, number 30, played for Michigan today. He verbally committed to Michigan, and everyone was just creaming their jeans about Daxton Hill. And then he decommitted and committed to Alabama. And then he decommitted from Alabama, and he signed with Michigan. And now he's out there. And that's great. But you know what? He was an 18-year-old kid trying to figure out what his future was. You can't blame them for vacillating, but don't tell me that you're going to sit here and...
Yeah, I don't blame the kid, and you never know. I mean, I always look at the fact that kind of pisses me off that Spielman, I'm going to Michigan. Yeah. And his dad kind of said, "No, you're not."
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Why would you,
Yeah. The Daxton Hill situation almost sounds like a bigger and better deal bigger and better deal
Gain
situation.
something.
Look,
I hope that
now
it-
you're
don't-
now you're
don't-
talking about the possibility that a team in the SEC is enticing a young man with illegal benefits, and we.
But he
know
ultimately ended up
that
in Michigan.
So, yeah,
so-
what he's suggesting there is
because clearly the young man had character and walked away from the illegal benefits. Now let's just be
No,
honest.
no.
I'd like to think that's the case. If
So-
there, if
well,
there
it is. It is.
Hey,
Let's just move on. So next topic.
I got no problem with that kind of stuff. Just based on, don't want to get into the politics of college football or anything, but the pay to play. What got passed in California? They can now get paid for their likeness, using of their likeness.
Really?
You've heard that?
No.
Didn't hear that at all?
No.
They passed a bill in California
Is this like
saying
an
that
off
college.
the Ed O'Bannon lawsuit or something?
That I don't know, but they can now. Players can use their likeness and get paid for it
Oh no shit.
in California.
As they should. I got no issue with that.
but
And then how is this going to change the landscape? All of a sudden, California seems like a much more attractive place for
Yes,
kids
it
to
does.
play football.
but can the NCAA still say, well, yeah, but you can't play NCAA and do that? We'll play the NAIA.
NCAA is relatively powerless.
They're as powerful
We're at the facilities.
as their members want them to be.
We're talking about a state law
Uh-huh.
against a college club organization.
Yeah,
They
but
don't have any legal power.
But they can still set up their own rules. They do set up their own rules. So, can they still say, is that what the law says, that it's illegal for the NCAA to say that you can't get paid for your likeness, or are they just saying you can get paid for your likeness? And the NCAA can, on the other hand, say, sure you can't. You just can't play in the NCAA if you want. We will not let you have your eligibility. Go play in the NAIA. Right? You can play NAIA football and go do that. That's perfectly fine.
I don't think it takes that much tipping to get teams, conferences, whatever, to say fuck the NCAA.
Well, I told you years ago there was a rumor when the Pac-12 became the Pac-155 or whatever it is. There was a rumor.
He's all in. Keep going.
There was
Yeah,
There was a rumor that the
Cobb's all in on
that
our
the-
recording.
they were thinking that the Pac, the SEC, and the Big Ten were going to go off and do their own thing and say, "Look, we can do our
did.
own. We are the premier conferences,
Yeah,
and we're going
I
to go
mean-
do this, and so we're not even going to be part of the NCAA." And the NCAA
it was like
can go.
9-10 years ago when I was unemployed, and I used to watch ESPN. There was like College Football Live daily, and that was really around the time when the conference dominoes started.
I remember
And
calling you.
And it was the Pac-10 saying, yeah, we're open for expansion. We want 2 more teams. And it just, the whole, Colorado joined, and then, the whole Big 12 was in jeopardy, and Missouri was begging to join the Big 10 and brush them off, and Nebraska joined, and the Big East was, good God, they're being poached, and all the talk at the time, like that, and ultimately, it sounded, it was just a major soap opera going on, but that was a talk. Is like, ultimately, we're going to end up with like 4 conferences, 64 teams, divorcing from the NCAA, saying we're going to do what we want. For 16-team conferences. I mean, we've fallen a little short of that, but still, ultimately, the NCAA is a little archaic.
Well, sadly, I think the NCAA in theory is a great thing, but it's also become its own money making. It's not just a sanctioning, governing kind of rules body to coordinate sports, right?
But
That's
I
what
mean,
that's what I heard killed the whole thing, because there was talk that anybody else who was in the NCAA, all the other schools that were left, were going to say, you know what, if you've got a football team and you're not in the NCAA, none of your teams can be in the NCAA. So, and a lot of these other sports, people don't have the money to, there's very few schools. There's only like 8 schools or 6 schools or something that actually make a profit from their
I
athletic.
saw that 60 Minutes with Brandon. So that
No.
it was 60 Minutes. They're talking back in the days of Dave Brandon, but that was the story about big time college athletics, and he came out and said the same thing. I mean, Michigan's one of the few schools that actually operates in the black.
Yeah, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, I think.
Texas.
It was, yeah, I think Texas. And it wasn't, and even like Alabama was just, and certainly Michigan's cash cow is football, but like Alabama.
Okay, all schools that actually operate in the black, the cash cow is football and basketball.
But I mean, that's just it. When you look at like Michigan makes money at basketball. They make money at hockey.
Those are probably the only. I mean, across the board in all NCAA sports, those are really the only two that make any money. There are very few exceptions. Other, like they were talking about, maybe like Tennessee women's basketball when what's her name was still alive, or UConn women's basketball with Gino. Just dominating.
But no,
the
what
sport.
the thing was, and I remember the thing about Alabama was, like, yeah, football's here, and like at Michigan, you got other sports here. Alabama, football's here, and their other sports are like actually
Alabama basketball.
Like Alabama isn't. I think they said they make more. Their football program makes more money than any other program, but they're not. They're like of the ones in the black. They're at the bottom, right? Because they get nothing out of the rest of their programs at all. They get zilch out of. They have
just
nothing.
A
else.
completely football school.
Yeah, there's nothing else that's driving money. But I mean, and even at Michigan, it's But the thing about like Michigan is their programs, they get so much money donated. Like, so even their programs that have no revenue, they don't suck the cash, because if you look at programs, it'll say like the Ethel and Jim Schubert scholarship, right? What that means is like all those scholarships are donated, right? Those are the people that donated them. So you look at the
Penn State hockey.
You look at the men's rowing team.
Penn State hockey.
Well, that was all one. The whole.
Once
program.
again, it doesn't matter if it's a multitude of people or one guy.
No, that's what I'm saying
It's just-
about yes, revenue is football and maybe basketball and in some cases possibly hockey. But again, as far as the rest of the programs, like Michigan, there probably isn't a penny that comes out of anything but donors for any scholarship in the entire program. They're not fishing for money. They're not taking money from the football or from the athletic program itself. Doesn't have right? People are donating. So and like Alabama doesn't get that.
I think we'll go ahead and call it a day here. 3, almost 4 o'clock. Good enough. You have our thoughts. Best of luck to you. We'll see you next week.